What's up, people? Today I'm gonna get those seals put in and then finish my timing set, since we didn't finish it on the last one. So yeah, let's get started before the rain comes. Alright people, we're going to get started by pulling these seals out and then lubing up the new ones and shoving them in place. And then once we got the new seals all in, I'll put the new water pump in. I still got to clean up a little bit around where the old seal was. You can see it's still real dark there, but I started cleaning it up here. That's actually smooth up there, but the bottom side still got a lot of the old material left on it. So I'm gonna clean that all up before the new water pump goes on, because yes, I had to buy another one. And yeah, so I'm gonna get these pulled out. I'm gonna pretty much just use an automotive pick to do the job, and hopefully it goes nice and smooth. To get the actual seal out, I'm just gonna take this little pick here, and I'm gonna try and get between the inner lip and the shaft without causing damage to the shaft. Oh wow, that one's, look at that, look at that. That one came out nice and easy. Interesting. Well, alright, so since that's out, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean up the actual shaft, and then just with a paper towel and clean the shaft and then clean the inside, and then I'll go ahead and put a little bit of grease on the new seal before I actually put that in there. Before you go too far, always try to match your seals up, and if you got, you know, if you're concerned as to it might not be the one that matches, always take, you know, a micrometer or something, to a caliper, actually, that's what I mean, a caliper, to measure the inside diameter and the outside. But this one, I actually found I had to do some digging. Really, I just took the old number and cross-referenced it, but a national seal number of 712009 was this oil. They called it an oil pump seal. I don't know, I kept calling it the balance shaft seal, but we figured out what it needed to be. This is the bracket I was talking about that was on the other motor. This is to help prevent this seal from walking its way out. So, you know, it's like a approved upon part, you know, since apparently it's pretty notorious for walking its way out of there. But in any event, it's on this motor now. It's on there for good measure. Alright, so if you guys remember from the last video, the water pump that I got was broken. Well, the impeller blades were broken on the back side of it, so I had to get another water pump before we could continue onward. But this one, this is a D&J brand, which I'll show you the box real quick. You can find them on eBay, but I was also able to get it in town here, so you know, that sucked. That set me back another chunk. And now this timing set has just become even more expensive. That's right, I guess I didn't tell you guys that. I contacted the seller on eBay for the timing setup that I got, and they were like, sorry dude, can't help you, because I was outside of my 30-day return window. So there's a lesson to be learned. It costed me a little bit, but the lesson is, when you get your parts, don't just look at them, open them up completely, or buy them as you need them. Gently set that in place and hopefully have it fairly lined up on the first shot, because I do not want that seal to move at all. So I'm going to get this bolt threaded in. That put together, and now that is all torqued into place and looking nice. But like I said, we got all the seals in place now and that guard, so we can move forward to actually adding all the timing set on here. However, I gotta walk away for a little bit, so we'll get back to this later. Alright people, it's been 2 weeks now, as egregious as that is to say, but I'm back from vacation and I'm ready to finish this off. I already got 2 of my keyways set in place up here for the camshafts. I'm going to put those cam gears on and torque them down. The spec that I found online was 37 foot-pounds. I got a really old, really old school, don't even know how well calibrated it still is, torque wrench. And so we'll get it in the ballpark. You know, I would probably just say screw it and just tighten them, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to go by the book, except I didn't find a spec for this one here, so I'm just gonna do that at 37 foot-pounds, just like that, you know, or in that ballpark. You know, we're gonna get it somewhere between 30 and 40 foot-pounds, and it's probably gonna be good. So I'm gonna get these gears on, and you know, that's just the next step in getting this ready to go. Put some grease on the gear, get it in there nice and smooth, but I don't think I need to do that per se. I'm gonna try and just get it started over the key. There we go. That went on pretty nice. Let's try this side. Get it started over the key. That one moved on me. Alright, so I got that over the key on both of them. That one didn't move. Cool. So I'm gonna do the same one with this, but the key cut out there, it's actually part of this gear here. So I mean, obviously if you've gotten this far, you already know this, so I'm kind of telling you pointless things. But in case you bought a project that was like partially done, you know, maybe you don't know exactly how this is going together. And I'll be completely honest, me and JJ tore this apart weeks ago, and I'm sitting here like, okay, I gotta look back at pictures so I know where stuff goes right. You know, like, I mean, it's the same size bolt, so honestly you would think it'd be roughly the same torque on it, but we'll find out. This gear, remember we broke it taking it off the original one, so I robbed this one from my spare motor over there, and it came off that other shaft like it was butter. It just slipped right off, no issue. And then I go to start putting it on this one, and it's like it's acting like it's too small, but realistically it's just super tight. So I greased it up inside, I greased up the keyway, tried to do everything I could there and press it on, but I have no way to get around other than using the actual crank bolt to drive it on, kind of like you would like a power steering pulley or something like that, you know. But I just got to drive it on that shaft and hopefully it'll go down far enough. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do now. I was getting frustrated, I was about ready to beat it, and I'm like, oh yeah, duh, use the bolt. So now I got to get this on here, and now the sun is pretty much going away. Got storms rolling in way out there that you can't tell on camera, but I don't want to get the lights out. Got a light set up. I'm just gonna drive it on with the ratchet, just cause I don't want it to bind or anything like that and then break this gear, because I'm already down a gear. So I'm gonna do it nice and smooth. Alright, I guess from there I need to see how far back I need to go still. But I got it on. I used the bolt to drive it in and then had to use a throw-out bearing. It works perfect, man. Perfect size. Goes right over the key and everything. Just slap it on in the place. Oh, he ran away for some reason. Well, anyways, so got the crank lined up there. We got the balance shaft back here lined up, because you take this, it's like 12 or 14 millimeter bolt out there, and then you shove a number 2 freaking screwdriver in there. But with this, we were debating back and forth a little bit about lining it up and which way it lines up, but it's like a gear driven thing. So the first go around, this is not gonna just go in and that line up right off the bat. So like we had to rotate it, I think 4 times to get it to line up. So like every full rotation of here, this goes out 90 degrees out of that full rotation. So yeah, just a little heads up on that. And then up here, we got the cams pretty much lined up. There is a spot where you can drop either like 5 millimeter little drill bits down in, or like I just found a couple random freaking Allen wrenches and shoved them in there. But so those are holding in place. Pretty much everything is lined up. Around. That's probably at the marks right there. Yeah, to lay a card across this to feel the notches.
It makes it easier to see.
Yeah.
See? And this notch is at the bottom of this gear, and it's at the top of this gear.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? They're not going to look exactly the same.
No.
This should actually fit inside of here.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. That's a Riley card. Yeah, I can see it. That's cool. So we know we're all lined up there.
Now the easy part is to get this one.
So then the tension, that feels pretty good.
That's all just the spring.
Just the spring.
I
got you. Well, sweet, man. Timing belt is on. Time to put the balance shaft belt on. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's the easy one. Oh, and this one lines up right with this one.
Yep. And then if you look at the
Top.
the above knurl, that should be at least looking top dead. Hell yeah. Nice and easy.
And I like to, I just jiggle them so I make sure that this one is not catching on anything.
Yeah.
It's pulling up, you know. sometimes if I have it open, I usually put a little pressure on it. Just or people say. So let's put this back in, because a lot of times I just forget. Forgotten, especially when you're doing it underneath the car or whatever, and you pull it out and that bolt is still, you know what I mean, somewhere else.
Yeah.
And not that I've ever done that.
There we go.
Well, you put it in, but you forget to get the wrench to tighten it.
Yeah, so it's just finger tight, and then it
you get
leaks
out,
a
and
little.
then you fucking forget, and that thing will come out, and that's pressure.
All right, so it's finally put back together, like 100, well, mostly back together. So the timing, we do have that set. You guys saw that. That's all in order. Even got the guard back on. The only thing is, I got to figure out what I'm doing with the balancer.
Probably get a new one.
Probably gonna get a new one. And he was looking it up. It sounds like the F series is the same, and he's got a few of those, he says, so we could probably use that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to leave that off, and tomorrow I'm going to work on dressing the rest of the motor and clean up the engine harness and get that on there. And then I'll also take off my other valve cover, and maybe we'll mark that up and see what we can do about exposing the cam gears a little bit. But all in all, this is all we're doing. It's done for the night. Thank you, JJ. It's like a halo behind you. But yeah, big thank you to JJ. He totally helped out on this, like by far. He really did a lot, and I just basically did the tidy work in between him showing up. But yeah, so it's all done, and I can't wait to keep going.
You live really far. You were really close and you moved away. So
I know. He's gotta shame me constantly. But alright, I'm Dan, the Prelude dude. There's JJ. This is the parts, guys. We'll see ya.